botanists classify rice over different generations in a lot of different ways, but most people today consider there to be two primary species. Northern wild rice, which is scientifically called Zizania palustris, and southern wild rice, which is Zizania aquatica. But the one that's most important to humans is that northern wild rice because it has a larger seed on it. That's very attractive. It's very nutritious, and it's very attractive to human harvesters as well as to wildlife. Wild rice harvesters tend to think a lot of times that there's many different kinds of rice because it varies a lot from lake to lake and from river to river. But scientifically, those two big species are the ones that are of greatest interest.
Okay. And what is the quality of our wild rice?
Well, the wild rice here in the Kekagon Sloughs at Bad River is exceptional quality. Although you'll find that people tend to feel that the rice that's closest to their own is the best rice on the landscape. So if you're from Bad River, well, you can't beat the rice in the Kekagon. And if you're from Mole Lake, then the rice that they have on Rice Lake is the best around. So it really depends on who you ask.
The wild rice is part of our culture, an important food source for us. The water is important to us because it holds the rice. If our water becomes contaminated, the rice and fish will die and make our elderly sick. We are concerned about the mine because it will ruin the plants and all of the stuff that grows in the water. If the mining goes through, we will all be sad, especially the elders, as they know the old stories. The mine concerns us because we use the water all the time and it is important to us. If the water gets polluted, we won't be able to use it.
What happens if the contamination reaches out to the Great Lakes? And is it possible?
So we're talking about the contamination from the future mine site.
Yeah.
If it did reach out to the Great Lakes, it could negatively impact the aquatic resources, so the fisheries. It could negatively impact some of the plants that are out there. Also, it could have effects on some water chemistry too. I think it is possible. We've been seeing within the Great Lakes region there is other mining operations, and people are concerned if it is going to reach the Great Lakes and what kind of impact it would have.
What other lake or lakes would get polluted if the mining succeeds?
Well, the mine would be located upstream of the reservation. There's a lot of streams and rivers and wetland resources that could be impacted by the mining activity, including some smaller lakes. But it really depends on the size of the mining operation. And so I think anything that's downstream of the mine in the Bad River watershed could potentially be impacted.
This area, Wisconsin, a little bit into the Michigan area, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Manitoba, Ontario. It's kind of the center of the Ojibwe world, of the entire Ojibwe nation. And here we have that food that grows in water, okay? And it's known as Manoomin, or the good seed. It's extremely healthy food. It's, I guess, a aquatic grass seed. Known as, but to us, Manoomin, the good seed, and also known as wild rice. And it has fed us ever since we came here. We have been harvesting it. We eat it, we share it, we trade it.
This mine is to be located on the Penoki Range near the town of Mellon, Wisconsin. And the proposed mine would be located at the very headwaters of the Bad River watershed. And there are many pristine streams that run into the Bad River. And I'm afraid this mining operation would threaten the environmental integrity of that entire watershed.
Okay, thank you.
And would disrupt those various ecosystems in the watershed. We're concerned primarily about water quality, about air quality, and its effects that it would have on our wild rice here on the reservation, and it's a threat to our identity as a people.